everybody. I'm Samurai Sam. This is going to be a really quick episode because I only have like 8 Virtual Boy games, I think, and I don't really have another episode that I feel is worth tacking them onto. So here, all 8 of my Virtual Boy games. Let's start with Mario Clash. So this game is kind of a reimagining of the original Mario Brothers arcade game where you're Mario and Luigi if there's a second player, and you're hitting enemies usually from the floor below them to like knock them over, and then you jump up and hit them up. Actually, this is only one player. Every Virtual Boy game ever made is only one player. But this is kind of a different take on it, where it's like how do I explain it? Like there's like some kind of a 3-dimensional effect going on. I mean, like the graphics are 2D, but there's like multiple planes, like PLANES, where like you can go in the front or in the back, and you have to like knock over turtles and like throw their shells at enemies in the foreground or the background in order to knock them over. And it's pretty neat. It's very like arcade style, even though it was never an arcade game. Like, I don't think there's an actual ending. It just keeps going until it like reaches maximum difficulty or something, and you try it for your high score. I think it's kind of a neat game. I don't know how good it is, how much I like it. I haven't really played it extensively yet, but it's a neat little kind of forgotten Mario game. Here's Mario's Tennis. Of course, the big problem with this game is that it's only one player, and with a tennis game, you really want it to be 2 players or more. And yeah, like, it's not actual virtual reality. Like, one criticism people have of the Virtual Boy is that like it's most of the games really you could just made them on a console. Like, doesn't really take advantage of the whole virtual reality thing that well. So like you play behind your character, so you're not playing from the perspective of your character. I can't really comment too much on the gameplay of this one. I mean, I'm sure if I really want Mario Tennis, I'd probably just go for the 64 one. But I think it's all right. I know people who've played it and remember it fondly. We have Tellero Boxer. This is kind of a neat little game. It's a lot like Punch-Out, sort of. Kind of that type of game where it's like you're in a boxing match, but like you have to learn the enemy pattern and stuff. And from what I've played, this one is pretty difficult. Like the controls are actually pretty complex from what I remember, like with blocking and moving and stuff. And this game, I mean, it's not technically virtual reality, but it does kind of benefit from like you are playing from like a first-person point of view, so it's kind of neat that way. Definitely one of the more interesting Virtual Boy games. Actually, the Virtual Boy library is really small. It's actually not that bad, honestly. The hardware itself is pretty bad, honestly, but the games are not all bad. Here's Vertical Force. This is a Japanese copy, but it was released in America, and I believe there's not really any significant difference between the two. And this is a shoot 'em up, and yeah, I don't think I really have that much else to say about this one because I haven't really played it that much. But like, it's it's one of those 2D shoot 'em ups. I don't think it's really all that unique, but it's a Virtual Boy game. That makes it unique, I guess. We have Galactic Pinball, which is pinball, and I don't really know if there's really anything that much to say about it other than it's pinball. I believe this is a pretty decent pinball game, from what I understand. But yeah, it's pinball on Virtual Boy. Whoops. We have Space Squash. This is an interesting game released only in Japan, and this is a game where it's kind of like Pong, I guess you would say, in a certain way, but like you're playing as actual characters rather than paddles, and you're playing like behind from a different perspective. It's not like from a side view. You're actually viewed behind you look from behind your character. It's like third person, and like you knock this ball back and forth until you get it past the other player, I believe. And this game is pretty neat. I haven't played too much. I haven't played really hardly any Virtual Boy game too much. Honestly, I haven't had the Virtual Boy all that long. Like, year and a half, I think. A little more than that, maybe. So, like, I don't have, like, really a history with these games. But, I will play it once in a while. And I'll play some of these games more. So right now, I can't really give a fully educated opinion on all of these. Here's V Tetris. This is a Tetris game. But actually, this one is kind of unique because it has at least one specific mode that I know of that's like unlike any other mode in Tetris, where it's like it's 3D. Like you can literally like change. How do I explain this? If you've played the 3D mode in Pokemon Puzzle League for Nintendo 64, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. So the whole game field is like a cylinder kind of, and you can use the shoulder buttons to like change what part of the field is in front of you at one time. It's similar to that, and it's pretty neat. I don't think there's any other Tetris game that really has a mode like that. So this is a reason to break out the Virtual Boy if you like Tetris. V Tetris, and I believe that's only in Japan. Fortunately, it's not really rare or expensive. And last but not least is Virtual Boy Wario Land. This is the one Virtual Boy game that I have beaten. Not 100%, mind you, but I did play this game to the ending. And if you've played the Wario Land games, not totally. This is actually the second Wario Land game that was made. This is before Wario Land 2. And you do have health in this one. I know Wario Land 2 and Wario Land 3, you can't die. But this one you can. So it's kind of more like the first one in that way. But, other than that, it's kind of what you expect from a Wario platformer. It involves, collecting things and finding secrets in the levels. And there's an emphasis on 100% completion. There's definitely motive to, go back after you've beaten the game and try to collect all the treasures that you missed. And it's well made. It's a fun game. Not terribly difficult, but it doesn't have to be. Surprisingly still exclusive to Virtual Boy. I don't know why this hasn't been ported on Virtual Console or remade on anything, but definitely a very solid Wario game, and one of the reasons to check out the Virtual Boy now. That's all my Virtual Boy games. I don't think the library is a complete failure. It's got some interesting stuff in it. That's part of why I own one. Fortunately, the hardware is absolutely terrible. The worst part about it is, in my opinion, the fact that you can't adjust the stand of the Virtual Boy is awful, because you have to literally set it up on a table or surface where it's going to line up exactly where your eyes are. So you cannot adjust it up and down. It really stinks. But that's my Virtual Boy collection. I'm Samurai Sam. Stay tuned. Nintendo 64 is coming up next.